It's 5 o'clock. We can probably get started. I'll call the September 24th, 2025 meeting of the Planning Commission to order. Did you have something you wanted to say, Mr. Hayes?
Yes, sorry, Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to remind the Planning Commission that for any absent members, that a motion to excuse would be in order if you so desire, because we, as you know in particular, we changed the rules recently for all of our boards and commissions.
Yes, I was going to call for him. I know Mr. Miller called in to be, well, he let the planning staff know he wasn't going to be here, so I would assume that would be an excused. I don't know about the others who aren't here. I'll have Ms. Rambo call the roll, and then we'll sort that out.
Okay. Jade Castile.
Here.
Jim Jackson.
Here.
Pete McGorry. David Miller. Steve Pajali.
Here.
Connor Whalen. Mike Zuloff.
Here.
Okay, can I get a motion to excuse Mr. Miller?
So moved.
Is there
I'll
a
second it.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Motion passes. All aye?
I didn't hear what you said.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
motion to excuse Mr. Wellen.
So I'll defer to Mr. Hastings on this. Did he call in and ask to be excused?
I did not hear from anybody
I
else.
did not either.
That is up to this commission.
Is that a prerequisite for
Right.
excusing the absence?
They don't have to call in if you want to excuse them anyway.
Right. So my motion is to excuse Mr. Wellen.
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Is there a motion to excuse Mr. McGorry?
So moved.
It's been moved. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes. Did I leave anybody out?
No, we've got a quorum.
Hope you guys did that.
So since we got that out of the way, I will move to approval of the minutes from August 27th, 2025. So everybody had a chance to review those? If so, I would ask for a motion to approve those minutes.
Motion to approve as presented, Mr. Chairman.
Moved by Mr. Zuloff. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
It's been seconded by Mr. Jackson.
I wasn't here.
Any discussion?
I wasn't here.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Okay, motion passes. We move into new business. Tonight, we have a site plan review, 1319 and 1321 First Street. Mr. Panis.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The property owner has applied for site plan approval. Fox Architectural Design has submitted on behalf of Pollock Composites USA for property it owns at 1319 First Street and 1321 First Street for new construction projects, one per each property. The property owner, Pollen, operates at these subject properties and is headquartered in Chicago. Their Sandusky location has about 20 employees, and the company ships numerous resin products internationally. Among the products they make in Sandusky are gel coats for fiberglass, which are used for boats and tubs, among other things. On the left-hand side of this slide is a picture from an aerial perspective of the zoning. We can see all the parcels that are being discussed today are Zone CR, Commercial Recreation District. These properties, there's technically 5 of them, and they're split between 2 addresses, although it's proposed to function as one cohesive site, and it's all under common ownership. Moving to the right of this slide, we can see an aerial image taken from the auditor's site. All right, moving on. On the left-hand side of this slide is a picture from First Street. looking north at the entire development, with 1319 First Street on the left and 1321 on the right. On the left is the former Beer, Bait, and More building, which was also home to a local ice house, as well as the old East Side Restaurant, if I'm not mistaken. The building was constructed in 1955 and is in serious structural disrepair, specifically on the inside of the foundation. This portion of the development sits on 3 lots with a total area of 0.42 acres. Within that same left photo, on the right of it, you can see the front entrance for employees and delivery traffic to the rear portion of the facility, which contains Pollen's manufacturing and warehouse uses. The photo on the right of this slide is the existing eastern elevation of the building, showing some of the existing parking lot as well. Moving on the left of this slide, you can see the existing southern elevation of the building, as well as other existing parking. On the right of the slide, we can see a different angle from that same viewpoint. Staff included an approximate location of the proposed Sandusky Bay pathway relative to the existing site for context. The applicant has been working diligently with the city's Public Works Department ahead of submitting their site plan approval application. Of course, this location, as we'll continue to indicate on these slides, is approximate. It's just to give us an idea. Nothing's final yet. On this slide, these next 2 photos show the western elevation of the existing building relative to the proposed pathway's location again. So the plan for this portion of the development is to demolish the existing building and replace it with a new office building. The main difference from the existing layout would be that the longer wall of the new building would be parallel to the road, First Street, instead of the shorter wall being parallel. This will result in the proposed building having a smaller footprint than it does now, lowering the coverage of the lot from about 30% to 18%, which is obviously well under the 50% max. The parking lot would remain mostly intact as you see it today, with the main change being the layout and the location of spaces. The biggest change in the layout will actually be the elimination of 2 out of 3 total curb cuts on the development, which will reduce traffic congestion on First Street and make on-site circulation more organized and therefore safer. The office use requires 13 spaces, 1 being required for every 250 square feet of gross floor area. The applicant proposes ample parking at 24 spaces, including 1 ADA space. You can also see proposed landscaping on the bottom of the screen, and right below that, the proposed Sandusky Bay pathway, which, if I'm not mistaken, the applicant got directly from the city. So accurate proposed placement there, and sufficient lighting is also proposed throughout the parking lot. If you look at either this image or on the packet or in the application materials, you can see perhaps a little better the periodic dotting of those. We're going to move on for now. Proposed elevations. The front elevation is on the top, facing south. This is the part that will be facing the street, visible from the street. And I want to take a moment to really thank the applicant for being willing to, what they did is they added a door. It didn't have a door, and staff was of the opinion that it looked a little like the back of a property, and the applicant was really receptive to that and added a door. Because on the rear elevation on the north, facing inward to the parking lot, that's where employees are actually going to be going in and out, and there's maintenance garage, maintenance door there too. So next are a couple of the side elevations facing east and west, and the little green outlines are proposed landscaping as well. So this slide shows proposed lighting. It's compliant with dark sky guidelines. It's warm enough. And staff had the following observations of this portion of the development. First is that the applicant told staff that rehabilitating the existing building was thoroughly considered, but ultimately bringing structural elements of the building up to code would make the project cost prohibitive. The applicant also stated that the new office building will relocate Pollen's offices from the rear of the property to this new building. Third, staff notes that the new building and proposed pathway will create a more attractive streetscape in this sort of industrial section of First Street. Fourth, staff recommends, after the pathway is complete, additional landscape be planted on the western side of the parking lot, same bottom area of that previous image. And the reason is just to deter future pathway users from cutting through the parking lot. The timing of it being after the pathway is complete is being recommended just to avoid accidental destruction on our contractors' behalf of their landscaping. Fifth, staff notes that a variance is required for the proposed front yard setback of 5 feet, which the applicant has already applied for and will be considered next month with staff support. Sixth, the city engineering department will require a stormwater drainage plan to be submitted and approved prior to the issuance of building permits. And 7, all other planning and zoning code requirements will be met by this proposed project. So planning commissioners, this was the denser one. I led with that first. There's a second part of it for the other address, 1321. Would you like me to continue, or do you want to? Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
go ahead.
Yeah. All right. This is briefer. Okay. So here's a photo of 1321 First Street. This is taken from that existing driveway, which will be maintained and be made the only curb cut. On the left, if you look at the image on the left side, they're both orange buildings, but the left one is where the manufacturing of the resin products takes place, and on the right, the side of the building closest to us is where the offices are right now. There's a couple buildings behind it, which you'll see on the site plan. All of those are used for warehouses except for the manufacturing and the office part. Okay, this portion of the development sits on 2 lots with a total area of 1.47 acres. So this is zoomed out. We'll zoom in a moment, but this is a proposed site plan showing the addition of about 3,800 square foot warehouse building. The building has been expressed to us as being paramount to the business's continued success, as right now Pollen is currently paying to store large skids of material off-site. In terms of parking, this building will displace several existing parking spots, but as noted throughout the plans and the numbers with circles around them, applicant has more than enough space to create new spots to make up for that. So zooming in here, you can see the red proposed structure. Manufacturing use requires 10.25 spaces, with 1 space required for every 1,300 square feet of that use. Warehouse and storage uses actually don't require any parking. They're on a list of exemptions from that. So in total, applicant has to maintain 11 spaces, including 1 ADA space, and they've proposed 23, including an ADA space, I believe. So the proposed building will slightly raise coverage on the lot from 30 to 36%, which again is below 50%. This next slide shows the proposed floor plan of the warehouse building. We note 5 bays for delivery and later removal of material to the orange building for manufacturing. This slide shows proposed elevations, again noting the bays, and the rear and side elevations as well, and proposed lighting is included just for reference, which will be dark sky compliant. Before giving the recommendation, there's just a couple more points, staff analysis. First is that the entire floor plan of the new building will be dedicated to storage and therefore does not add to the required number of spaces. It'll be used to store manufacturing materials, not actual manufacturing. Second, the current land use of manufacturing and warehouses respectively are actually non-conforming within the commercial recreation zoning district. So a zoning variance will be needed to expand the use, which will be on next month's BZA agenda as well, and with staff support. Third, city engineering will also need to see a storm drainage plan for this portion as well, and all other planning zoning code requirements will be met. Last slide is staff recommends approval with the following conditions. 1, all applicable permits are obtained through the building department, engineering department, and any other applicable agency prior to construction. 2, the owner or applicant work with the city engineering department for all required stormwater approvals. 3, for 1319 First Street, the owner or applicant obtain a zoning variance from the Sandusky Board of Zoning Appeals for the reduced front yard setback prior to applying for building permits, and similarly 4, for 1321 First Street, the owner or applicant obtain a zoning variance from the Sandusky Board of Zoning Appeals to expand the existing non-conforming uses prior to applying for building permits. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's a mouthful. Good.
You done, Mr. Mayor?
Yeah, I am.
Well,
Yes,
well,
Mr. Chairman.
Well, thank you. That was a mouthful. Before I bring it back to the table for comments, I wondered if the applicant would like to come up and add anything to the report. State your name and address for the record, please.
Afternoon, everybody. Joshua Fox, Fox Architectural Design, 1717 East Perkins Ave, here in Sandusky. As the architect and Brian Lake is the contractor, design build for the projects, for both projects. We've been hired by Pollen to come forward with these two projects separate essentially, but we're kind of going in together with their physical year process. I'll start with the front one. Adam did a great job. I just wanted to throw a couple key points at the front building on 1319. Just so you know our understanding and design of the project, we did do an abatement of the project. It has been abated already for asbestos. And during that process, getting into the crawl space and stuff is kind of where everything kind of went sour for everything, because they were originally going to just change us into offices for their facility. And highly recommended not to do that for their long-term use and staying in Sandusky and their maintenance and issues with that facility. So that's one reason why we steered them in the direction of doing a new building. The second reason of turning the building is we're trying to keep the streetscape forward so that we can keep everything in the back kind of tucked away. It's kind of private with all the employees, and then try to maintain that facade going down the street. But again, we're trying to coordinate with the path, so that's why it's getting pushed to the east a little bit more. And the owner's aware that we're basically losing two driveways on this property. So they're going to maintain their existing driveway, the main driveway, to function for this entrance and exit through this area. And then I think it'll function really well for them, because they'll be checking in at this office and then they walk back to the warehouse manufacturing facility. We tried to maintain all the dumpster and everything in the back. Obstacles that we had to go by also were there's a main power line going through there, and right in the middle of the property where the gray line is, if you see, there's a main power pole sitting there. So we had to create some obstacles and get parking to align with that as well. So. And then as far as 1321 project, we're complying with pretty much everything there. I think our only obstacle at that one is it's zoned commercial recreational, and we got to go through a variance for that. It is just storage for their facilities. They will stack pallets inside two high and 4 deep. And they'll run their tow motors. The tow motors currently go in and out of the existing warehouse on the backside, the offices, and they feed into the manufacturing facility. So we're going to be that's why the overhead doors are on the front. They're just tow motor in. We made them a lot wider so they don't hit them. We tried to help it as much as we could so they don't damage the property. So that's all I had.
All right.
Thank you.
Mr. Fox.
Thank you.
Are there any questions for Mr. Fox around the table? I've got a couple, and you may not be able to answer them. Do you know how many employees are employed there?
Yeah, Adam and I were talking about that earlier today. The last time we talked, I think she had mentioned 20 people is about where they're at.
20 people?
Yeah, and that's in the manufacturing facility and the offices. So the offices are only about, I think the office part only has about 6 people in it. So they'll have conference rooms, offices for each individual. But then they'll also have there's a gentleman that comes from Chicago. He'll have a separate office here, and he goes back and forth among other people. So, but it's right around 20 to 24 people.
And what will happen to the existing office space?
The existing office space is directly behind the new building.
Yeah.
It's the one sticking out. That'll turn into a warehouse space.
Okay.
It was originally a warehouse space originally. It was designed with the masonry structure, the steel roof trusses. So it's going to be converted back, and it'll probably have a couple garage doors added on the side so they can load the same exact way, same product.
Okay.
Yep.
And do you have an estimated project cost?
I do not.
Okay.
Yeah, I do not at this
Do you
time.
know what the demolition of the old east side is?
The cost for demo?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, we haven't got to that level yet.
Okay.
Yeah, we're trying to get through this process first, but we're more than happy to share it with you.
Just out of curiosity.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Fox. Any other questions?
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Zuloff.
Yeah, so basically, is this distribution, you bring in by the truckload and ship out orders?
So the products that they're actually
I'm
bringing
trying to
in,
understand the nature of the business here.
yeah, so they're bringing in, I don't know if it's resins, it's a dry product that they're bringing in. Currently, right now, they're storing it in Norwalk area, and they're trucking it every day to this facility. It
Right.
comes in on truck, and they drop it, and then they bring it into this facility. So this is going to allow them to actually have the actual deliveries directly here at their facility without secondary.
Is this, okay, so is there manufacturing going on here too, or is this just warehousing where you bring in quantity and then ship to customers? Or I'm trying to get a sense of the nature of the business here.
The new building that we're doing, the proposed new building is strictly storage. There's no manufacturing in that facility at all.
Of course.
The main existing building with the loading docks on the front and the back, that is a manufacturing
Okay, so
facility.
this is warehousing for product you're using on site,
That's correct.
right, not for distribution?
That's correct.
So that's what I was trying to get.
Yes,
Right.
correct.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right, I had a question for staff or the applicant.
Yeah, if we're done with Mr. Fox, we can come back to the table.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fox.
Thank you. Yeah.
Mr. Zuloff, you can
Yeah.
ask your question.
The setback, how does that compare with the other buildings, like, what's down the street? I think I'm seeing 5 feet proposed. Is that from the right-of-way?
Right, which doubles as the front lot line.
Yeah, and we're pretty confident on the,
It should conform with the existing
right.
building line on that street.
Good. And I like your, I think it's a good call saying, hey, let's not make it look too much like the back of the building. Might even, if it was my building, I'd want a little portico, set the door back a little bit or something, or maybe not, depending. All right, that's all I had.
Thank you, Mr. Zuloff. Any other questions for staff?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Mr. Zuloff.
I would like to make the motion that we approve the application, subject, of course, to the recommended, or the requirements as outlined in the staff conclusions.
Staff recommendation.
Well, they recommended conditions.
Okay.
I want to place those conditions on me.
Okay, very good. Is there a second?
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Ms. Rambo, will you call the roll, please?
Jim Jackson,
Yes.
Jake Castile,
Yes.
Connor Whalen,
Yes.
Mike Zuloff,
Yes.
Steve Pajali.
Yes. Motion passes. Just to comment, I think this is going to be a good project. I like the reuse of that site. When the east side went out, I think a lot of people were disappointed that maybe something else didn't go back in there, some sort of eatery, but it doesn't appear that that's going to happen. I think this is a good use, and it built up that business there, so.
And they've reiterated to us, they're permanent, they're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
We talked about the lot combinations, and at this point, they're permanent. They don't ever want to go anywhere, they just want a nice office building. And I think this will give it to them, and it'll give it a nice facade on the front, so everybody's excited about it.
All right.
So, yeah, thank you, guys.
All right. Is there anything else for the good of the order?
Not from staff.
Our next meeting is Wednesday, October 22nd at 5 PM. And I think we may have the PUD, the final PUD coming from Marus at that meeting?
Yes, and we just received another site plan application for a building addition at Luco. We'll see if that ends up being ready and sorted by the meeting deadline, but
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, if there is no further discussion, we'll stand adjourned.
Okay.
Oh, is there a motion to adjourn then?
Yeah, we got it.
We're out of here now.
All in favor? Motion passed.